very easy to doubt yourself, but just really stick to what makes you happy. Just always give yourself another day and just follow your passion, man. Like, we are here to do what we love. It's not about money. It's not about anything else. It's just about being happy and being kind to each other. It was insane how much money we were making, like, for real. Yeah. And it was 4 of us. Long story short, we get caught. I had things happen to me personally in my life that really opened up, like, what can happen in life. Like how we were talking about earlier too, rolling with the punches. Like, certain things are gonna happen to you, and you either have to choose, like, am I gonna find inspiration in this, or is this gonna bring me down?
Grease lightning, go grease lightning, go grease lightning, you burn up a quarter mile. Grease lightning, go grease lightning, you are supreme. It's a dream, a grease lightning. That's awesome. That was one of my favorite moments in podcast history.
You plant a mango seed, you get a mango. I plant a mango seed, I get a bankroll. Ha, ha, that's all I gotta say. Ha, ha.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Another day, another podcast on the Heir Cast. We got a special guest. A lot of times with guests, sometimes I have to prep, especially with strangers, and or sometimes, people have a lot to talk about, and, I feel maybe a bit overwhelmed. But I'm thankful because today, my guest, although I haven't seen him in years, this is my dog, this is my boy, high school pals, high school homies, man. Goldman Gators. Shout out all the Goldman Gators out there. We got Mauricio in the house today. This guy, my dad.
Thank you.
We bring out the artificial audience for special guests.
I love it.
So, Maro, here on the podcast, Maro?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, bro. Whatever floats your boat, bro.
Hey. So, here on the podcast, we start with the important questions because the fans, the industry, the air support, the Air Force, everybody wants to know, what's the key to doing a good Italian accent?
Ooh. You gotta, I think it comes from, like, right here in the stomach. You gotta be relaxed, and you gotta take your time when you talk. You gotta envision yourself in New York, walking down the street. You smell some sausages in the air. Oh, the air is so crisp. It's autumn season. The wife is back home cooking some gabagool. It's gonna be a good day. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Okay, bro. So we gotta get into this, bro, because I want to catch up with you, man. And selfishly too, like I told you before, man, this is one of my dreams, man. I'm dying to get into acting, man. I have so many. I've been writing for a while. It's a dream and a goal, and I'm gonna make it happen. But I'm just so, like, green to it. I have no idea where to start. But I want to get your story first. I want to hear what happened. So walk me through high school. Did you take, like, elective drama at any time?
So it honestly started before high school.
How?
So in middle school, where I went to, I was always like funny, I guess. I was that kid, like, messing around.
Hilarious.
Yeah, in class, I was just always, I guess I love the attention, but I love more, like, making people laugh genuinely. Like, I got joy from that from being a kid too, like, just growing up with that. My father was very funny. He is very funny. He's comedic, like a performer all the time, but he doesn't know it. Like, I always tell him, like, you could be a great actor if you just wanted to act, because he's always, like, doing bits and, like, voices and shit. It's
naturally, yeah.
Right. It's natural. So I grew up with that. And then in middle school, I was in my first play that I got into because the librarian, I remember, she was like, oh, you should be in drama, this and that. And she put me in drama. She took me to the class. She put me in the play. I did the play and I loved it.
Do you remember what the play was and what the character you played was?
Bro, it was it's embarrassing. I do remember. Okay, so I was like a farmer, but like a very, like, simple farmer, like on the stage, like just like with an axe, and then somebody comes and takes my crops. Like, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I remember I ran off the stage and I improv'd a bit. Like, I didn't really follow the directions.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my drama teacher, I'll never forget, after the show, she was like, that was great that you improvised and all this stuff. And then, believe it or not, what really got me into acting was that in, like, my 7th grade year, you remember Tech Decks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I explained to my dad what that was like 2 days ago. That's crazy. You're saying this now.
Yes.
Tech deck.
tech decks, for all the kids that don't know, you used to play with a skateboard with your fingers and you had the time of your life. It was the best. So me and my friends got an idea that we should start selling these things in the school. Long story short, we started selling them. We started making a lot of money. Like, I'm talking about, imagine you were in 7th grade and like to us, like $400 was like, oh, we got money for
$400 off tech decks?
Yes, because we started spray painting them, and then we would repackage them and say that they were custom. So we would buy these tech decks for like $2 and sell them for $10.
They were, though. You guys are customizing with the paint. That's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, I even made up a story that my uncle lived in New York in the tech deck factory.
Oh my God, you're a genius.
Yeah,
You're a genius.
We would get them shipped in, and bro, these kids loved it. Like it was insane how much money we were making, like for real.
Yeah.
And it was 4 of us. Long story short, we get caught by the principal. I'll never forget. Her name was
selling products that they're hating.
Yeah, we're selling. Like, no, we got snitched on by somebody actually.
It's just mind-boggling to me. How is that illegal? Like, what's wrong with that?
Well, you're selling goods on the school grounds, and it's illegal for sure.
But what laws are we breaking?
Well, because I don't know exactly what laws, but it's like you're just selling and you're making profit off of kids. So.
But if I work but you are a kid though.
But I guess
my uncle works in the tech factory.
I think the adults were just mad that we thought about this and we were so young. Because
we should have done it.
When they saw the amount of money we had on us, they freaked out. They were like, well, how do you guys got all this
teachers don't make no money, so they're like, how in the world?
They stay with that money for sure too.
No way, they confiscate the brand?
For sure. 100%.
But you guys weren't taking the money home? You guys just had the money in.
So what we would do is we would sell, and we were selling for about like 3 months, and we kept on selling, and then eventually we all got together one day and we're like, all right guys, let's bring all the money, because we were all individually selling, but we had like a little network, like.
So you pulled it all together.
We pulled it all together and we're like, let's buy more. When we pulled it all together, we brought it to school, which to this day I regret, but we're kids, but what are you gonna do? And when we bring it to school, some kid that same day wants to buy one off of us. And we didn't like the kid, bro. Because he was always one of those kids that, bro, you know how it is. So we didn't sell him it. And I'll never forget, he when we didn't sell it to him, like the look that he got internally, bro. And I was like, he's going to snitch on us. And he went and he snitched on us, bro. Wow. And then from there, it all tumbled down.
Do you remember that kid's name?
Bro. 6'9". I think it was like Juan or something, bro. I can't remember exactly, dude.
Juan, if you're listening, and we know you are, I hope you're not snitching no more, man. Tying up.
Yeah, I hope you got your tech deck finally, bro.
For real, custom from his uncle. Yo, so okay, remind me though, how does that tie into acting?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're good. We tie into acting because it ends up being that the vice principal, she goes, your guys' punishment is gonna be that you have to perform in front of the whole school. Wow. Guess what? Because you brought up Grease earlier. A number from Grease. Yeah.
Which song? Which song?
It's Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning. Go Grease Lightning. Go Grease Lightning. You burn up a quarter mile. Grease Lightning. Go Grease Lightning. You are supreme. It's a dream. A Grease Lightning. Oh, that's awesome. That's one of my favorite moments in podcast history. Wow. Crazy.
How can you not know that song, though? You know what I'm saying?
Such a banger, bro. I got goosebumps.
Oh, bro. Come on, bro.
That was fire.
It's a classic.
So that's your punishment, which ends up being one of the best things that ever happened. Great.
Exactly, because it's not like, at first she's like, oh, you're going to perform in front of the school. Then other schools found out about this, and they wanted to see it. As to show their students this is what happens if you guys, which I don't understand how this was a punishment, because once we were on stage, we had the leather jackets on, bro. We were
the coolest thing ever.
Exactly. And I was like, yo, this is sick. And when we got on that stage, we had the time of our lives, and we got off of it. And right there, I was like, I want to do this. I want to perform. I want to be
punished all the time.
So yeah, what I gotta do, keep getting punished? It really was. It's incredible how we were talking about earlier, how life, the twists and turns it makes, and that really led me to that, and also including, my father showed me Scarface when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah, 5 to 6 years old, going to elementary school. he would play it in his truck. So he didn't deliberately show it to me, but my dad had TVs in his truck growing up. Because that was like the thing in the 90s. You know, if you had TVs in your truck, you were doing it. So he would watch Scarface in the morning. I'm talking about 5 a.m, driving me to school. And I would watch glimpses of it. And I was like, man, that guy it's insane, bro. I thought he was Cuban. Until...
Barely speak Spanish in the movie.
Exactly.
Like maybe one sentence, 1 or 2 sentences. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You have so you start acting, and then so that's middle school, right? The punishment.
Yeah. So fast forward to high school, I do a little bit of drama. I didn't really take it serious because I'll be honest with you. You know, I was in high school.
You're fleshing out your personality though, because I remember you as did you have a nickname?
I don't know if I had a nickname specifically. You know,
no, you didn't have a nickname.
Yeah,
but you always doing bits. You were always funny. Like you're always a funny guy. Like, you're always a funny guy. Like
I'm a funny guy, you know.
Yeah. And like,
funny how though?
Funny how?
Funny how? Tell me, huh? Like I'm here to make you laugh or something?
Right, exactly. But like, you know, there's other people like we were mentioning earlier, like your dad, where he's just naturally funny. But then there's other times where people are like, yeah, he's doing a bit. Like he wants to, like he's not just naturally doing a bit, like just because he's being funny. No, like he wants to, you know, be funny. You know, like, this is funny. Like, exactly. and I remember you were always a funny guy, like naturally, like on that. So it always worked. So talk to me post school. What happens post high school? Do you go to college? Did you go to college?
I went to Miami-Dade. Shout out to Miami-Dade though.
The Sharks, right?
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Shit, giving us education. I'm sorry. Can I curse? No.
Yeah. You're
okay. I just want to make sure. I went to Miami-Dade after high school. I didn't really do any acting in high school. I always just knew I loved it. And then I went to study film because I loved film. And I was like, you know what? I could be a screenwriter or a director.
When do you realize that?
That I loved film?
When do you realize you want to study it? Yeah, like because you're doing bits, you're doing fun. You're like, yeah, this is something I do for fun. But you weren't taking it serious in high school. You kind of fell off of that.
Right.
What's the moment that you're like, okay, I want to do this?
That was probably like a year or 2 after high school that I felt like I was kind of learning more about myself. I had things happen to me personally in my life that really opened up like what can happen in life. Like how we were talking about earlier too, rolling with the punches. Like certain things are gonna happen to you and you either have to choose like, am I gonna find inspiration in this or is this gonna bring me down? You know, so that after that I just started to like dig deep. I was like, I really love movies. But there was also like that voice in the back of my head that like, oh, but you can't like do films and be an actor and this and that because it's so hard and you should get a traditional job and like, you know, it's hard for everybody. I feel like every artist goes through this every day. You got to fight society. And I just ended up telling myself I want to do film. So I went to Miami-Dade to pick up a friend. When I'm picking him up, he doesn't have a ride. I look up and there's a banner. It says Miami-Dade Film Program, enroll now. So I was like, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
Literally a sign.
Literally a sign. So I enrolled. I started taking classes. I love it. A friend in the class, she goes, you know, I'm doing a short film now because we had the same class, but she was like higher than me. It was like a sort of an elective class for film. And she was like, you should be in my film. You'll be a great mobster. Because she knew I loved the mafia. We were talking about.
This is your first mobster role?
First mobster role.
Oh my God.
It's on YouTube now. If you guys want to see it on my YouTube, it's called, my God, what is it called? It's the first film that I did. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. I can't remember the name of the film, man.
You have it in the highlight reel? I seen a couple. I saw Attraction, man. Hilarious.
You saw Attraction, man?
Yeah, I saw Attraction. I saw a Capo. I saw the episode that you're in a Capo.
The first film is on my YouTube. If you go all the way down, now it's bothering me. I can't remember my name.
It's okay. We're gonna drop it here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But if you go to the first one, and I play a mobster. It was like my first time really like. She told me to act. I had no idea how to act. I'm sorry. It's called Eye for an Eye.
Eye for an Eye.
Eye for an Eye. Cool, I was remembering. Yes, it's called Eye for an Eye, guys. So I never knew how to act. She goes, you should be a mobster. You'll be great at it. And I had just started watching The Sopranos, like we talked about earlier. So I was like, you know what? I could do this. I'm going to do it. And she was like, do you have any acting experience? I was like, yeah, a little bit. I didn't have any, but, you know, I wasn't going to be like, no. So
you were acting right there on the spot. You're like, yeah.
We act every day, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I got on the set, and I remember having my lines and like preparing to get in there mentally, and it was like I didn't eat breakfast. Like I couldn't do anything but think about the script and the character. And really all I thought about was like Tony Soprano, Tony Montana, like, and you, and like just be that. And since I got to the set, I was a character the whole time. I didn't get out of character.
Stayed in character.
I just stayed in character because it helped me. It was my process. And when she first said action on that first take, I promise you there was like this moment where like I kind of just blacked out, and we kept on going, and it was like till the very end of the shoot, it's like it happens to me sometimes when I do stand-up comedy. I write down a whole bit that I'm gonna do, and I get up there and I just do this bit that comes out of me, out of nowhere.
A different one.
And it's hilarious. And I have to record it because I've never said none of this stuff before.
You're freestyling. You're freestyling.
Obviously with a movie you can't do that. You gotta follow a script, but it's your state of mind that you become something else, and it's the embodiment of the character.
I don't want to go too far off track, but I do want to circle back to we were having such a good conversation before we started rolling. We were talking about screenwriting, and you had a great bit. So you said how you can't look at it with structure. You can't look at it with structure. Can you say that again for the audience?
Of course.
That was so good.
Well, what we were talking about is how to write a pilot originally.
Right. So we were talking about writing a pilot, and then I made the point like Tarantino, because I struggle, because I've written scripts before, and yes, I come up with an idea in the overview. That's kind of how I first started. So the overview, this is the point I want to get to. This is the things that could happen in between. How do we connect it? How do we get there? Now, how do we really get there for real?
Right.
Then I would get into internal, external, describe the setting, dialogue, this and that. But I'd get overwhelmed because I'd get caught up because I'm trying to figure out the story as I'm doing that. This new project I'm working on, I just did it like Tarantino does. I wrote it as a book. I didn't worry about the intricacies of the dialogue. I got the bits of what's supposed to be said, what the message is going to get across, and then what's the next point of the plot? What's the next point of the device? What are we learning? I just got it through. Your response was about the structure, and that was kind of where I wanted you to say again about you had a bar about looking at it with, because when you look at it with structure and you're trying to figure out the set and the dialogue, it's like
yes.
You restrict the art.
What I said was like whenever you're trying to write a script, you're talking about life in general, and life has no structure. Right now, we're sitting here, a fucking lightning bolt can come through this roof. You know what I'm saying? Like anything can happen at any single time. So when I learned in screenwriting, the problem with the screenwriting classes that they give you structure because that's school. It's a curriculum. But there's always like the blank spaces between the structure that's where I love to live in. I love to live in the randomness, in the gray of life. Because there's no such thing as black and white. Like, and the people in school, they want you to write a certain way. You have to have a 3-act structure. You have to do this, and that. Then you have Tarantino starting a movie with a guy with a gun pointed at him reciting a Jesus Christ line, and it's got you right there by the throat. Some of the best openings start in the middle and the end, and again, that's like life. You can't really say, I'm going to start my movie like this, because I feel like when you're approaching a script, you're trying to focus too much on the beginning, on the characters, instead of writing about life. Writing about... Like, you have an idea for this show, for example, of like rangers working in a national park or something. So what about these 3 guys that is so intriguing? What do they see? Is there something paranormal happening in the park? Is there aliens in the park? And then you just dive from there, and it's such a, I love about writing is that it's such an open world. Like there's no
exactly.
Like there's no way of like whatever you write, it's not bad at all, because it's your perspective on life, how you want to see it, how you want to see these characters. Of course, now you want to keep the audience engaged. You want to follow a certain narrative. You want things to make sense. Like you want things to come back.
But those are byproducts from a good story. When the story's good, it's gonna happen. The audience is gonna be engaged. They're gonna learn. And now I'm realizing too, it's not even just the story too. It's also the characters in the story. The story doesn't have to be so elaborate. It could be very simple. Like I've read partially how to make films for dummies, and at the beginning they teach you every movie is damn near 2 plots. It's a main character going on a journey, experiencing a different world, or Godzilla, a different factor getting thrown into a world that's already created. Like every story kind of boils down to that, and it's like yes and no, but like the whole point is flesh it out. It's really about what's in between. Kind of like it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Right.
It's the characters on there that make that journey. You feel me?
And I a tip that I give for everybody that's trying to write what you know. Write what's true to you, like your experiences. Write the movie that you've never seen before. That's a great quote. I think Jordan Peele said that, the guy that made Get Out. Write the movie that you've never seen before. You want to write a movie about mobsters and aliens? Write it.
Wow.
It might be the next biggest hit ever.
That's actually really cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Men in Green.
Yeah.
So like Men in Black, they're corporate, but like if they're mobsters, like, yo, this alien owes me bread.
Hey, this guy, you see him over there? He's kind of green.
Okay, so you booked the mobster role. That's post high school, right?
Right.
That's because you're Dade. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Now, after that, what's the first like paying gig that you book?
My first paying gig, and I remember it because I did something great with the money that I got from it. Well, great for myself, but it was a commercial for an alarm company. But it was a dope commercial because it was like in a big studio with all this high-tech stuff. It was like a Mission Impossible type of theme, like with like I have to scan my face and all that.
You still have access to it?
Bro, I did that so long ago. I would have to.
Oh, man, if you could get it for that, it would be great.
If I could definitely try to get it. Yeah, no, for sure.
So
I could try
funny.
to look it up because here's the thing. Those people was like a casting of another casting that they contacted me through. So I got the casting super randomly. I showed up. They auditioned me on the spot and they casted me on the spot. Like that.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I didn't know it worked like that fast, you know, but they wanted to do it. The next day I was filming.
And it's like a Tom Cruise-esque, Mission Impossible-esque security commercial, like for security service.
Like that I played like a guy coming in. I put my hand there, it opens up and it's like a whole panel of stuff. I remember the studio. It was called Bright Star Studios.
Bright Star Studios.
I don't know if they're still in business. They were like kind of by like Davie, I want to say. I remember it being far. But the main reason I remember is because with that money, it was like, I think it was like $500 or something for the commercial, which I thought for like 4 hours of work, I was like, oh, I'm going to be rich. Like, you know,
for acting though, for doing something you're having fun doing.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
And it really was like an awakening because I was like, man, I can get paid for this and I'm loving it. Like I had such a good time on set. So I've been wanting to learn how to play guitar and I went and bought a guitar with it. So I had that guitar in my room still.
Wow, after that, because you have that was what you did with the guitar. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Full circle moment with the guitar.
Exactly, yeah. I bought, with that commercial money, I bought the guitar. Not all of it, but I bought a nice guitar and I kept it as like a memento because I was like, you know, I could just spend this money on anything, but I love playing guitar, and I was like, you know what? I want to get a guitar, and every time I see it, I think of like that first booking.
Awesome. That's a great tool. That's a great memory. So fast. And this is already you're in college. You're 20 at this time.
I was like, like 20. Yeah.
20ish. Okay, got it. And then so now walk me through like kind of what's the journey since that.
So
booking.
after that, it wasn't I would say easy because I started looking for ways to get more roles. Good thing for Miami-Dade, if you're a student in Miami-Dade right now and you're looking to get acting roles, go to these film classes, talk to the film students, say, hey, I'm an actor. I will be in your movie for free. And just like that, you're in a movie.
Wow.
And it works. I started doing that. I started advertising myself all around campus. I became one of the most like famous guys at that time in Miami-Dade because I went from doing 1 short film to 9 short films for Miami-Dade in the span of like 2 or 3 months, because it just so happens that Miami-Dade, they have to all shoot their films in a certain amount of time, like the finals and stuff like that. So people were just looking for casting and I was available. I was like, I'll do it.
Wow.
And I would work for free. I would work for food, for anything, because I was just loving it. I was like high off of it, man. Every time I'll play a different character. I play a psychopath. I played a guy that kidnaps girls. I play a guy that's a tutor that's charging kids money for the answers in a test. Yeah, the mobster role.
That's hilarious.
I played so many different characters, man. And it really was like my starting off of like learning how to be an actor and just going with the flow. Like being on sets till like 4 a.m. when they said rap time was at 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just learning how to deal with that and being I always recommend to people that if you want to be in this business, it's very small, especially in Miami. So be cool with everybody if you can be. You know, some people are difficult, but just always try to have a good attitude and be grateful that you're on set, because for me it was always a good time, because I'm like, I'm here doing what I love, so there's no problem. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I started doing films in Miami-Dade, and then I started doing like there's a thing called Backstage, Actors Access, stuff like that.
That's online?
That's online.
Okay.
That basically, if you have a resume and you have a reel, you put it, you pay for it, and you get castings. You apply to any casting anywhere, you can get chosen, and just like that, you could be in a show. It's really not that hard nowadays, honestly. Of course, it's not easy either at all. it's you know, it's work, it's a hustle, but you could do it.
It's direction. It just takes direction and
right.
You know, guidance. And imagine not going in school. I need a conversation like this. And yeah, the information's out there on the internet, but the truth is, I guess my mindset is like, everything, you could just read anything on the internet. Like, it's different when you have somebody that you know that, hey, look, this is what I did, this is how I'm doing it, this is how it works for other people. Yeah, it makes it more practical, and it just makes it real for me. Man, I've pun intended, real for me. Anyways, so okay, and then no agent involved because you're booking all this with students,
right? I first got an agent like about probably a year after that, after I started doing short films and writing and working with people I knew. I was like, you know what, let me start doing like actual, like trying to get into an agency. And it's hard, honestly, to get part of an agency, because really you have to reach out to them through either Instagram or through one of these social networks, and sometimes they don't respond. On their website, they don't respond. A lot of times it's word of mouth. But like I tell people, I would message agents every day until somebody responded to me, and I'll send them multiple messages. I didn't care. I was like, you're going to see my stuff eventually, because you're going to get so annoyed of seeing my link that you're going to be like, you know what, let me just click on this guy's thing, bro. And guess what? You might like, and that's what happened. Eventually an agent called me back. Hi, I'd like to represent you, blah, 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 blah. By the way, guys, don't ever pay your agent beforehand. You get paid. Well, your agent gets paid after you book a job, just for letting, because that's a tip out there.
I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, well, what's the context? So I signed up for like some audition thing many years ago. Showed up, and it wasn't like we weren't acting, we weren't doing nothing. It was like they showed the process or whatever. They had like everybody introduce themselves, like mad corny, and then at the end they wanted money. They were like, yeah, pay us so we could get you roles. And I felt like. Like, I was like, damn, is this really the way? Like, I feel like I'm getting taken for granted. Like to this day, they always I had to block their numbers, because they always find different numbers to message me. Like, hey, we have this date ready for you to come in and audition again. Are you ready? And I'm like, no. What do you know? Like, it's the same thing. You guys are just gonna at the end be like, yo, so it's $80 for 1 week, and it's like, what do you mean? How many weeks is it gonna take for me to get a role? Like, I'm paying per week. Like, this is crazy. Like, no. So that's not the way.
And I feel like for people that's happened to, because it happens all the time, and it discourages a lot of
it disenfranchises you, makes you go, damn, there's no way to get in this.
And not only that, you lose money, and then you're like, you know what, I was already trying something that a lot of people say is hard, and now I'm getting scammed. So you just drop it, and it happens to a lot of people. So if you're looking for an agency, look for, do your research and speak to the people, make sure you don't pay them anything. And you gotta have a lot of content. It
starts with the work. That I wanted to ask you. It starts with having the dope. You have to have the content. You have to have the reels.
Exactly.
Whether it be for free with students, whether it be commercials, something you shoot yourself. You have to do something.
For example, if you want to be an actor, right now, you have content already, but they're gonna say, okay, we need to see you in a role. We need to see you like this, like that, and I recommend to people too, if you cannot book a role, get a camera, iPhone, anything, pick your favorite monologue from any movie and act it. Like, I'm talking about, like, do your best job on that monologue and send it. Send it to Instagram pages, send it to agencies, and believe it or not, if they like it, you can get a response. And right there, you have a scene of you acting.
Right.
And if you want to get even more technical, like for you, for example, you have a studio, you could do a really good scene. You know what I'm saying? I could help you with that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just, like I told people, it's not that it's hard. You just got to really push for it. And there's a lot of outside voices and there's a lot of distractions, but that's with everything,
Wow.
Yeah.
You just opened my mind. I just got a crazy idea. Like a good short film, I think, with like a guy rapping, but then a guy like breaking down, like he can't get the verse on, then he just, I can't because of life. Just
there you go.
That'd be crazy.
There you go.
We gotta
That's
flesh that out.
a great idea.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm here for, bro.
Yeah, man, bro, I'm so happy you're
Come
here,
on, bro. Thank you for having me, man.
Okay, so the agent booked a commercial for you?
Yes. They booked a commercial for me, and then she got her money, and from there, I kind of started learning the ropes of the.
So it was more than 5. Your bit was 5, and then she got paid.
Oh yeah. It was
cool.
Like I said, it was a lot because I saw how much her commission wasn't a big amount, but in total it was probably like I got paid like almost $600. She got like maybe like I don't know how much, like 80, 75. It was like 10%.
There's like fees and shit.
Yeah, fees, like, because it was a check too. So
10% makes sense. Yeah,
right.
that's what they say.
Yeah. So, and after that, like I said, I just kept on, and I really didn't have people that I could ask about this, and social media at this point was still kind of like premature.
Green, it's not. It wasn't there like that.
Now you go on Instagram, you're like, I want to be an actor.
There's breakdowns,
bro.
yeah.
There's pages, TikTok. You could literally learn everything off of TikTok now.
Facts.
Insane. So from there, I kept on doing roles, kept on writing, got agency work, and I've just been like making connections. I did some plays. Theater is great for building as an actor. Yeah. One of the plays is on my YouTube page too. It's about me forgetting my wife's birthday, and she decides to leave me over it. And it's more about that, like there's built up tension for the relationship. Like this was the last straw. And that play, I did it really only like 2 years into my acting career. And it was a 10-page play that I had to remember off of memory. And I remember rehearsing for it 3 times a week, and like I was like, I can't do this, I can't remember, it's too much. It was 10 pages, bro, all off of memory.
I am a little intimidated with the remembering aspect of it, but it's like I remember words, I perform, like it's there, but like it is a little bit of intimidation. I was like, damn, how will I remember the whole thing? But I just got to train myself for it. I gotta just set it up, especially me that I'm writing, I gotta expect it, but it's just a lot. This brain has a lot of things going on.
No, bro, you're telling me. But what I will tell you is that theater and film is very different. Theater, I say it's hard. Well, it's the hardest, I think, because you're like on a tightrope out there. If you say one wrong word, you miss your mark. The audience may not know it right away, but everybody else does. And then you feel that, and then they see that because you're up there exposed. They see every movement,
Live.
everything you do. They're watching you.
No edits.
Exactly. Yeah. So movies, you can mess up a line here or there, and it's not really a big deal as long as you know the overall. Because how many times I've been on set and I do a scene and I change a line, or I'll just improvise because I love to improvise.
It doesn't have to be perfect sometimes, yeah.
Exactly. And the audience, the director, everybody loves it. And then
so as this is happening, are you also, like, because you did a lot of student roles, did you ever do like solo stuff, like with the writing? I'm trying to get that question out.
Okay.
Are you writing anything? When does the writing come into play? Because you write, you produce now, you're doing everything.
Right.
All aspects of it.
So the writing came in when I started doing stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have my dad's good friend. He would take us to stand-up comedy shows all the time, and it ends up being that, the guy from Scarface, Chichi Getayeyo, he's doing a show in Coral Gables. So I get to go see him live. I get to meet him, and at that moment, I saw him doing stand-up, and everything was kind of falling into place for me, the acting and everything, and I was like, I just got to follow like what I feel, so I'm going to do stand-up. I talked to my dad's friend. He goes, there's a show happening a week from now. I can give you 3 minutes on stage. And if you could do 3 minutes, I'll give you more stage time. And that whole other week was like just pencil to paper. And I started writing, and then I did the show, and it went great, which was like, to me, that was one of the most insane experiences because, man, being up there doing jokes, you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know how people are. It was
so crazy.
Bro, it was.
So crazy.
I still, like, I get tense when I think about it.
That's awesome.
And so from there, I was like, man, I could write. And I started writing scripts. Then I started I have so many scripts that I've wrote over the years that are just like, oh, bro, that story's about the Colombian mafia, the Italian mafia, the FBI, DEA. I write these great big masterpieces. Well, they're great to me, but like I told you earlier, when I write, I don't ever put limits on what I'm writing.
Go crazy, yeah.
Because what you can do is always come back to it, and then you chunk it down.
Yeah, and you flip it. There's like they do this in the office. I learned because imagine I have YouTube University.
Yes, sir.
With writing at the beginning of every season, they have something called the blue sky sessions, and what that means is everybody just spitballs different ideas, and there's no. There's no. And a great analogy or example or product that came from that is, you've seen The Office? Awesome. So the episode where Meredith gets run over by Michael Scott. The inspiration for that episode was, somebody said, Michael kills Meredith. That was the original inspiration in the Blue Sky moment. They're like, okay, yeah, so how are we going to figure it out? Maybe he doesn't kill Meredith, but, then they wrote it into and that's how you get that famous scene where Michael Scott walks into the office and he goes, so Meredith was hit by a car. And the doctor said, I talked to the doctors, like he builds this tension, and then at the end she's gonna be fine, and everybody's like, why do you say it like that? It's hilarious, but it came from that, so there's no limits. That's what I think of when you say don't put no limitations to it. And like at first I'd write these big overall scheming things, and my dad wanting to make real things happen, like, let's shoot it for real, but then I'd write like, oh yeah, but the helicopter came down and got the D-boy, and he'd be like, we can't get a helicopter, so write things that don't have a helicopter.
The speedboat came to the warehouse on fire.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, but how are we gonna yeah, exactly. But there's a line to toe. There's a line to toe.
Right,
you feel
right,
me?
of course.
And even though when you're thinking impractical things, like you said, you could come back to it and chunk it down and make it practical.
Of course, yeah. And like Stallone, I watched a lot about his process because he was like a huge underdog. When he started writing, people told him he wasn't going to make it. He was dead broke. He had to sell his dog. And he would literally record movies. He worked in a movie theater, and he would take the dialogue and rewrite it. And then from that, he would start writing his own dialogue.
Wow, he'd rewrite the dialogue from the movie?
From the movie.
That's crazy. That's how I learned that. That's kind of what I do with music. I'd people would write verses, and I'd be like, okay, how would I write this verse in my way? You feel me? And like, that's kind of the initial way. So he'd write dialogue. That's how he learned how to do dialogue. That's so cool. Yeah. Wow, my mind's blown right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the inspiration comes from everywhere.
Facts.
Like there's nothing new under the sun. I love that quote. Because everything is an imitation of everything. It's life, breathing life. So you can't say, oh, this and like that. Like Tarantino, again, he steals from everybody.
Bro,
but it's not really stealing, because if you get something and you make it better, is that stealing?
Yeah. And you're positioning your own way. But one thing I just learned recently is Pulp Fiction. He had a whole co-writer on it.
Oh, yeah.
I just learned about that whole beef. My YouTube algorithm's been feeding me like cinematic shit lately. And I learned about that whole thing. I was like, wow, he's terrible. He's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean...
the way it works, man.
Yeah.
He just strategically took in the writer credit when Pulp Fiction comes out, like it says written by Tarantino, but they both won the award together. Like I saw, that's crazy.
There's always co-writers, stuff like that, because again, ideas come from everywhere. That's when I write too, and I'm working with somebody. I'm super like big on whatever you think, whatever you want to put it down on the paper.
Yeah,
we'll come back to it later.
Facts.
You never know what's gonna work.
That's awesome. That's really helpful and really healthy. Like because a lot of times I have memories in my mind where I'll be working, doing like, conversating, writing sessions, talking about ideas and stuff like that. And then, I'll be like practical on the practical stuff. Like, yeah, but how do we make that real? Like, how do we actually do that for the audience? No, but, we could just do a crazy story. And I'm like, okay, but how do you make it like into, a product? Like, not a product, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like a film, like a piece of art. Like, you have this crazy story, but it's like, okay, but how do you tell that story? Like, oh yeah, but we just want to get to a point. And people would come off as like me putting, I guess, the restrictions, not wanting to get the idea out. And now looking back on it, I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said it that way. I should have maybe gone with the idea and gone with the bits and just gone with the impracticality and be like, yeah, we'll do it like that, and just entertain it. It's about the entertaining it. You got to entertain it because it might not be that idea, but there might be another idea that comes associated with that bit. So when did you start doing comedy? Because isn't that a recent thing?
No, I started doing comedy about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh wow! So you've been on it. Wow.
I've been doing comedy for a while, but the thing is that I kind of found myself at a point that I love doing comedy, but I also really wanted to focus on my films and my acting more. So comedy is a very face-forward job. Like, you have to show up at open mics. You have to put in your time. Like, nobody just makes it by showing up and like, oh, you're hilarious. All right, good. Everybody else is hilarious too. Like, go wait in line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you gotta earn your stripes, and you gotta be there all the time. And for me, it was at a point that I was doing a lot of acting stuff. I was writing, I was producing, and I was just learning how to do it. So I felt like I was like, you know what? Let me stick with acting. Comedy, I know, is always gonna be there for me. Like, for me, comedy and acting, comedy gives you so much strength as an actor. Because you go up on stage and you say these jokes, and if people don't laugh, and you could take that.
Self-awareness. It helps with that. Wow. I could imagine that. Yeah, I could see that. That's so good.
Exactly.
Yeah, my favorite podcaster is Rick Glassman, and he's actor, podcaster, comedian. He's getting into stand-up. I haven't seen much of it, but he's pretty new to it, I think. But yeah, man, he does it all with the acting and everything. And I could.
Familiar with Rick Glassman?
What?
You familiar with?
Do you know who Rick Glassman is? My dad's asking.
Rick
Glassman. Rick Glassman is his name. That's my favorite podcaster, bro.
What is he? He sounds very familiar.
He's done movies. He did this show called As We See It. He's also in this other show called Are We Dead Yet? Did you see the Bill Burr movie? Bad Dads or something like that?
Yes, yeah.
You know the opening where he shits on where Bill Burr shits on a dad? That the dad's like, maybe you don't gotta do it like this. That's Glassman. He comes out of the opening of that movie.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, he's hilarious though, man. His podcast is my favorite thing to watch.
Send it to me later. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Oh yeah, man. He's a huge inspiration for my show, man. I'm glad I finally get an opportunity to talk about him organically. But yeah, man, like with the edits and all that stuff, like he took podcasting to another level. Like that's the thing, because my dad had been doing podcasting for a while, and it's great. You know, I loved Rogan. You know, I was listening to. And that's another thing that blows my mind. As somebody who makes podcasts, people don't listen. Very few people listen to full podcasts. People listen to clips and digest it like that.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole shebang. One time Spotify reached out to me and they paid me $80 to do like a Zoom interview with somebody, because I guess I was listening to him so much Rogan podcast, because he was the only thing I had Spotify for. You know, I use Apple Music for music. It's hilarious. But anyways, I say all this to say is that I never saw like the vision with podcasting. I didn't see the fun. Like I was just like, yeah, but what am I gonna add? Like what value? I'm just gonna sit down and have my own version of conversations, which essentially is what it is. But when I seen Glassman, what he does with the edits.
Rick, I hope you're right. Yeah, I know the dick size is major. So much so, he needs a custom tailor to make all the pants just so it can fit. Damn, that's why his suit is legit. Need a panoramic just to show you a picture comparable to a boa constrictor. Every time I rhyme, and I fill him up with fright and fear. Look, you can see it right here. Well, can't really see it because it stretches light years. Yeah, it's much more than a light beer. It's more like half a bottle of Jack Daniels. Yo, the dick size is too much to handle. Damn. Y'all know when he's got a hard dick, it's a passes the length of a yardstick. Yo, this here is a good song. It's a subway, more than a foot long. Damn, yo, you seen it? It's lethal. When he uses it, it injures people.
The way he gets into bits, and like he had one person come on the episodes with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the whole 15 minutes of the episode is Arnold's in the bathroom, and then finally the guy comes on and it's like not Arnold at all. It's somebody doing a bit. It's a comedian.
No way, doing a voice.
Yeah, but he's talking like Arnold the whole time. Bro, it's one of the bro, it's hilarious, bro. He's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
I'm gonna check him out for sure, bro.
Yeah, man. But he's in the acting and all that shit, dude. And it's tough, dude. It's tough, man. And I could see what it is. He talks about it a lot in the show, and it's hard, man. It's hard. You gotta, and then to combine comedy. But dog, we only got one life.
There you go, man.
You know, like you said, it, like you know, when you feel something's for you, do it, chase it. Like that's so awesome that you say that, because we all struggle with that, dog. We all struggle with that. It could be something as small as talking to somebody in a social place. It could be something as big as a life, a hobby, a dream, a passion you want to pursue. That's raw. So you started writing 5 years ago with the comedy, and that came in hand. And now you're doing sets all the time. You're going up still? Yeah,
I did a set recently at Miami Improv, and then I got booked for a show in Chicago that I recently just did. Yeah, I'm waiting still to get the video footage back from it. They reached out to me. It's funny, like that's why I say it's always good to know a lot of people or like be in communication. I'm part of this big group chat and of actors, comedians.
Wow.
And somebody wrote
That's so cool.
Spanish actors for a comedy show in Chicago.
That's so cool.
And
wow.
I was like, yo, what's up? Because I've been wanting to go to Chicago because my new favorite show is The Bear. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh man, I'm getting caught up on it now. I'm finally watching season 2. Season 1 I loved. It just shows you nothing in film really describes working in a restaurant like until you ever worked in a restaurant?
No, I haven't. Yeah,
bro, it's like that. I worked as a bar back, bro, in a Midtown before Wynwood was like popping. Bro, it was like my second job ever after high school, but like it felt like my first real hustle, because my first job was like whatever, it was easy. This was stressful, bro. I was the only bar back in a restaurant, and the way that Carmine feels every episode, it's like that. It's like that. And I was just a bar back. I can imagine running a whole restaurant.
A chef,
bro. The stress, that shit, it's crazy. But like just that feeling, and then sometimes you're in the weeds and you're just like, it's crazy.
No. I can't imagine. And the way that they really make you feel that when you watch the show.
Yes, nothing describes it like that. Nothing really what's the word I'm looking for? The word nothing. Yeah, nothing does it justice. Yeah, nothing
Captures
gets
it,
it. Yeah, nothing
maybe?
captures it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah, nothing captures it.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
really captures it for the audience because you don't get it.
No.
You just don't get it. You're just serving food. It's like, no, man. When I was in that restaurant, bro, the traffic of going in and out from the restaurant area to the kitchen, bro, you bump into people with atrás, delante, you know, like just so you don't bump into the person. Even people that didn't know Spanish, they knew what atrás was because you know it's crazy, bro.
No, for sure, bro.
Yeah, bro, madness.
And that show also touches on mental health. What not only working in a chaotic place, but you're dealing with your own stuff and you're trying to keep this place together. So I love that they tie that all in.
It all connects.
And so they said stand-up comedy show and you got to speak Spanish in Chicago. And my Spanish is good, you know, I guess you can.
And the Bears in Chicago. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's crazy.
So I reached out to the guy. I go, I'll do it. Let me know. He goes, okay, send me a set. And I sent him a set. He loved it. He goes, can you do the whole set in Spanish? Never done a set in Spanish before.
Wow.
Never. And he goes, and I go to him. I go, yeah, I could do it. No problem.
Full circle moment.
And then he goes, all right, I'm going to book you the flight. It's this August 27th. This is the dot. Are you, bro, before I knew it, I was on the way to Chicago. And then I told myself, because he told me, he goes, you could stay for a day or as long as you want. I go, you know what? I'm going to stay for 3 extra days. I'm going to explore the whole city. I went, I did the show. And I wrote down a whole set, you know. But, of course, like I said, when you get there, you don't know how you're going to feel, especially me doing it in Spanish. That was, like, already nerve-wracking. But I got up there, and I think it was one of my best sets. And it was in Spanish, which is crazy the whole time. Like,
was the material you prepared, though? Or you're saying
No, it was my material, but it didn't go exactly as I planned because the audience was very interactive. Because you don't know what type of audience you're going to get sometimes. Sometimes the audience, everybody's like this. And they're just like, hey. But this audience was like, whoa, like, you know, like they were giving me their energy. So I jumped off the stage. I started dancing on the crowd. I gave a lady a lap dance.
Nah.
Like it was, it was wild, bro. Like they were loving it. And they were like, Miami in the house. I was like 305 to like that. Like it was great. It was, and it started off my trip. It was the first night I got there. And then from there I stayed. I went to the restaurant of the Bear.
So they open a restaurant. I'm
Yes.
assuming because I just saw. I'm at the point right now where they find mold and they just shut everything down.
Right.
I'm there in the
Right.
season, so.
Well, I went to there's a real restaurant that they shoot the show in, the Mr. Beef. It's there.
The original spot where they
The
make the
original spot,
sandwiches.
I have the
first
photos,
spot
yes.
that got mold that they're closing down.
Yes.
So you went there.
Yes.
Nice.
And it just so happens behind the counter is one of the actors. You know the guy?
The famous chef, Flack.
No, not Fack. The guy from the beginning, the one that's selling him the meat. And he goes, "What am I supposed to do with this meat?" You know, and he talks like,
Okay, got it.
Bro, he's in season 1 and season 2. He makes appearances.
He works at that restaurant.
He actually works at that restaurant.
That's why they
'cause
wrote
his
him in.
friend-
That's so cool.
His friend made the show, and he's worked at that restaurant his whole life. Man, and I saw him, and I just had to talk to him. I ate the food, of course. The sandwich was fire, cannoli, everything amazing.
Wow.
Super fire. No, it was like a full circle moment for me. I was like, bro, I just did stand-up in Chicago in Spanish, and now I'm at the Mr. Beef. I was like, bro, I can't, you know. The classic Italian dipped, spicy and sweet. They dip it twice with fries and a cannoli and a cream soda. Yeah, baby.
Cream soda's fire.
Yeah, bro.
Very hated on. A lot of people don't like it. I appreciate a good cream soda.
I love cream soda,
Fire.
man.
Okay, so talk. Now you're booking your Bad Monkey, the show with Vince Vaughn out now. That's crazy. Like you're getting all these big roles, so you're in the game, dog. You're living the dream.
Yes, that one I booked it from an agency that had known me for a while. They told me we have a role for you as a detective. They didn't tell me the name of the show or nothing. The show was originally like on the call sheet. They called it like Simone or something, like a different name. I read for the character, and I was like, okay, sounds good. And then I didn't hear nothing back from them. And then a month later, I get a call, and they go, hey, can you be here at 4 a.m. tomorrow? I thought I was going to get whacked. They're like, can you be here at 4 a.m. tomorrow in the parking lot?
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, the show's going to shoot. I show up there. I was booked for 1 day. I started meeting all the extras, all the people. I started talking. I ended up meeting the casting director. She started telling me, oh, we need extra roles. We need more detectives, this and that. I go, well, I'm available tomorrow. I told her just like down the spot. I just met this lady. You're not supposed to really talk
Be
to.
so thirsty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what they.
But
that's what people tell me.
bro, it was Warner Brothers.
How do you get it? How else do you get it?
Exactly. Like I tell people, like, you got to put yourself out there. Obviously, don't come off as like, but you just got to take your shot. You got to shoot your shot sometimes. And the lady said, oh, yeah? Okay, give me your headshot. I gave her my headshot on the spot. She said, okay, be here tomorrow, same time. Different wardrobe. They give me the wardrobe when I get there. I ended up shooting on that show for 9 days. I played 3 different characters, man.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because
Monkey, 3 different cops.
no, I played 2 cops, a detective, and another street detective, and then a doctor. Because
Oh, the doctor's from there too. Wow.
so they book so many people for these shows. So sometimes you get an extra role, the featured extra, and then sometimes you're like,
That's the dream. You get an extra and then you become a real thing.
Hey.
Yeah, that's actually the dream. That's
There you
what,
go.
Glassman, a bunch of people get it like that. That's so cool, man.
mm-hmm.
My bad, Bob. Yeah, I get all comfortable and get off camera. It's you by yourself eventually.
It's all good.
Okay, dog. So that's crazy, man. And so let's we do this. I do this segment called Shoot Your Shot, where with artists, for example, I'll be like, "Who are some artists you'd like to work with?" Let's play a game here. Like I've also asked artists before to make like a dream record, like dream feature, dream this and that. Let's make a dream movie. What's like a premise of a dream movie for you? Like what, big name actors you'd like to star with you? Do you have something like that?
Man, I mean, do you mean like actors from like all time, or do you mean actors living right now?
There's dealer's choice. We could do.
Oh,
It'd
bro.
be fun if you could incorporate a dead actor and a live
Three?
actor.
Three
Yeah,
of them?
yeah. We could do anything. Avengers, whatever the hell you want. Mobster movie.
It would definitely be a crime film,
Okay.
and I gotta go with my number one choice, James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano.
Wow, we're bringing back James Gandolfini.
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
in the Tony Soprano role.
I mean, no, I would like to see him in a different role.
Okay, cool.
But still as some type of crime figure.
Gangster.
Maybe as a darker crime figure, something different. But he was just, like I had mentioned him earlier, he was like my acting coach. When I started acting, I never took acting classes. Never. I just started watching The Sopranos, and I mimicked everything he would do. I would watch scenes over and over, and I would see that he would kind of like twitch and talk like this, and he'll be scrunched over, and the mannerisms and everything about him, and then I would just adapt that my way, and then I would just become that. And it's crazy how you can learn from really paying attention to something, like just giving it all your focus and then imitating it. And then I would like rehearse my lines and look at myself, and then like change my just change it all. So he was like my acting coach. So he's number one for sure. Number two, probably I gotta go with another great actor, and this is, I think he's one of the best of all time, Marlon Brando.
Wow.
I grew up watching Marlon Brando too. I started with A Streetcar Named Desire. That movie is incredible, black and white, but it is like, his acting, forget about it. Forget about it. And then I got him on the waterfront. He plays. There's a scene in that movie that will like bring anybody to tears, bro, because he's talking about how he used to be a top contender boxer and he missed his shot. And we could all relate to that because sometimes life, takes different directions, doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And I guess my third choice, oh man, this is hard, dude. My third chick, I'm gonna have to go with Al Pacino. Yeah.
Okay, man. Yeah, an alive person.
Yeah. I was like, let me get an alive person, because the thing is that I've studied acting from the 1930s. I started off with Buster Douglas Keaton. Am I saying his name right? That I learned about him, and then I worked my way up to Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney. Humphrey Bogart, an incredible actor. For like not only Casablanca, but his other films too. And I learned from all these people. You just learn because you pay attention to it, like I said. And then from there, I kept on going up. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Dustin Hoffman, Antonio Banderas, Diego Luna. All these actors, just watching these movies. And again, I really think you have to love film to be an actor, because that's the way you learn. Like, you could go home and watch 10 films, and I promise you could learn something from each film and learn something about acting, about life.
You have to care.
Yeah, you have to care about it. Just like with your music.
Yeah. Everything. Exactly. You just got to care.
Exactly.
And even like I go all the time to see movies with my cousin, and he be complaining about every movie. And it's like, even when it's a bad movie, even when it's a movie, like, I get it. I get why you're complaining. Like, there's also things that I see what they're going for. I see, there's good here and there. Like, it's shot a certain way, or the character, that good one character had a good moment. Like, there's always something to take from it. But it comes from, I guess, that place of, caring and wanting to just there's good in everything, and what might not work for you will work for somebody else. Like I've never liked mangoes or peaches. My family loves mangoes and peaches, and it's like, bro, you could bring me the rawest mango peach in the world. I've never ever liked it.
That's crazy, bro. Because I don't like mangoes either, dog.
It's crazy. I have a whole song called Mango Seeds, and it's like it's a banger, but it's like I don't like mangoes. It's crazy, you know.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah, featuring Chief. If you're listening, we know you are. Chief. Big three. Oh yeah, we're in a big three. Damn. Okay, so we do the big three every episode. I'm thinking what would be a fun big three to do here. Let's see. I guess we could do mobster movies. That's pretty gangster, right? Let's draft our top 3 mobster movies.
What do you mean these tough situations,
Yeah,
man?
and you know we'll involve my dad too.
Why?
My dad picked the draft.
There's too many, bro.
Yeah, so we're gonna draft 6,
All
9.
right, all right, let's do it.
What's your
Let's
first
do it.
pick?
First pick?
Yeah, favorite mobster movie of all time.
Oh, you know I'm gonna go with Scarface, 100%.
That's great.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you
not
did
only
say
a,
it. Yeah, you grew up with it. Yeah, it's full circle moment for real. You have to.
and it's not only a mobster movie. Well, that's the thing.
So let's open up the draft. Yeah,
Right.
Crime movies. Crime
or
Yeah.
mobster, because we could do. I don't.
But the thing is, Al Pacino, the suit, he turns into a mobster. You feel me? It's
yeah. It's a criminal element.
What
for sure.
constitutes a mobster movie? What constitutes? Okay, so not just crime. So like Get Rich or Die Trying, like, well, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be Italian per se. That's just what we think. But like Scarface, he's Cuban, you know, and he wears a suit and he qualifies as a
It's
mobster.
true, yeah. Mafia is just crime, really. It's just a crime-related like family. But
Facts.
there's the cartel, there's the gangs, you know. So
All right, let's open it up to crime. Let's just
crime. All right, perfect. All right, I stay with my first choice, Scarface.
Scarface is a great pick. Yeah, so not my number one pick.
Do you know what
man.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna say them, dog. You know what, man? Because Goodfellas is a banger, bro. But I don't know, for some reason I love Casino, dog. Casino's my shit, dog. I love it. There's just a lot of aspects going on, but then they tie it all a lot together. And you know the fun, even the thing I don't like, even the stuff that people don't like when they switch this guy dying in the car at the end, the car blowing up, like the dummy there. Like it's so awesome. Like I love it. Like it's a good one. It's holds a special place in my heart. That's my number one pick. What's your number 2 pick?
Fire. Number 2, I gotta go with Goodfellas, man. I love Goodfellas.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've seen Goodfellas so many times that I have to have it on my list. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I love The Departed. I feel like it's so slept on, and honestly, bro, so great from beginning to end. You're like, wow, it's crazy, and it's actually based on a Japanese book. And when I found out it was based on a Japanese book, I started realizing, damn, bro, it's so cool to take inspiration from different things. Now I look at comics and animations, and like there's like, yeah, maybe you can't tell that story in real life like that way, but you could tell a certain way.
Oh, for
you know,
sure.
like there's certain elements to take from it. Like it just opens it up. But The Departed is really dope, man.
Amazing
great
film.
story, bro.
Amazing.
Well, so well acted, so well written.
That movie's based off of Internal Affairs. If you guys want to know the name, it's a foreign film. I definitely recommend it. It's amazing.
Oh, they actually shot a film of it? Cause it's a book too, right? I think.
Well, yeah.
I think
Scorsese got the inspiration from the film. It's called Internal Affairs,
Fire.
which is about the same thing.
Fire.
There's like a rat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
great
so
movie.
crazy, dog. Okay, and what's your third pick?
Third pick. This movie has a special place in my heart. Carlito's Way, with Al Pacino.
Wow, great pick.
That to me is like, because for me, what makes that movie different from any crime mobster movie is his love for that woman in that movie. You know what I'm talking about? Annie? Was
Yeah.
it her name Annie? Yeah?
Yeah,
Or
right?
was it what was her name? Or Grace. She had a sweet name, you know.
Grace was
I
the Peaky
think-
Blinders guy's girl.
Carlito.
Gail. It was Gail. Gail. I
Yeah.
put my money. It was Gail. It was
Yeah,
Gail.
you know I'm a.
Yeah, it was Gail. Bet.
Gail for you.
Yeah. I can't get you out of my mind, Gail. I miss you, Gail.
That's fire. That's really good. Yeah, it's Gail. You hit it on the money.
Bro,
Yeah,
his love for that woman, and his he just wants to become better in the whole movie. He's trying to
For her.
leave for her, and the streets just pull him back in, bro. It's an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it tonight. 100%.
Every time I try to leave, they pull me back in. Anyways, so damn, third pick. Yeah, no, but it's what he said. You know, the streets pull me back in.
He was feeling it. He was feeling it.
Third pick. Damn, man.
It's tough.
Wish I could say Breaking Bad, but we're doing movies.
Hey, it's in a criminal world.
Yeah, no, but we're doing movies. We're sticking to movies. We gotta be genuine. That's another draft. Crime shows. Let me see here. Damn, man, I'm stuck. There's so many good ones. You got to make it right, you know? You know what? You got to throw The Godfather. I'm going to throw The Godfather.
Classic.
The Godfather.
It's a classic,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, and bro, we end every episode with a message for the world, for the people. What's one thing you'd like to leave off of?
I would like to say that it's very easy to get caught up in the outside noise of the world. It's very easy to doubt yourself, but just really stick to what makes you happy. Just always give yourself another day and just follow your passion, man. Like, we are here to do what we love. It's not about money. It's not about anything else. It's just about being happy and being kind to each other. Follow your dreams. Straight up.
And follow my dog right here. And we'll see you next week.
You plant a mango seed, you get a mango. I plant a mango seed, I get a mango. Ha, ha, that's all I gotta say. Ha, ha, that's all I gotta say.
You plant a mango seed, you get a mango. I plant a mango seed, I get a bankroll. Ha, ha, that's all I gotta say. Ha, ha, that's all I gotta say.